Impressive looks, 20-liter tank heated seat and grips, dashboard with map on the screen, all of this for an unbelievable price. This is the only video you need to watch to know everything about the Ibex 700 from CFMoto. Technical features, performance in the city and on the road, fuel consumption, insurance cost, maintenance costs, and of course, my honest opinion with the pros and cons. Is it worth it? Watch until the end to find out. I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is Motoplay Channel, Brazil's most charming channel with the best two-wheel reviews. Like and subscribe to Motoplay Channel so you don't miss any videos. CFMoto was founded in 1989 in China, and it started as an engine manufacturer. Today, it is a global giant producing high-quality motorcycles, ATVs, and UTVs. And they manufacture KTM motorcycles there in China and also participate in MotoGP. I made a super detailed video with all the CFMoto motorcycles, the ones confirmed for Brazil and the ones that haven't been confirmed yet, and I also showed a little bit of its history. I'll put the link in the card and description, watch it later. If you're tuned into the global market, you've already noticed that this motorcycle here is called the MT700 abroad, which stands for multi-touring, meaning it's a motorcycle designed to ride both on asphalt and off-road. Here in Brazil, it's called Ibex. And why this name? According to the official version from CFMoto Brazil, they changed it to be more in line with their American counterpart, where it's also called Ibex, both the 450 and the 700. So, to keep that Ibex thing, or here in the Americas, we have the MT, actually Ibex 700 in the case of this motorcycle. That's the official story, but from hallway conversations, which I think is the most plausible version, right, is that MT is the name of Yamaha's Master of Torque family, and there could be a problem with that. Many viewers of the Ibex 450 video asked, there's MT worldwide, so why? I'm not sure. I don't know the details, like, for example, if it's only registered here in Brazil by Yamaha, right, and not abroad. So officially, Ibex is a kind of goat that climbs mountains. In the United States, it makes sense, but here in Brazil, it doesn't really, since we don't have that animal. It could be like one tough goat, right, that climbs anything. But anyway, that's the official version. Do you prefer Ibex or MT? Write it down below. Before I introduce you to the Ibex 700, let's talk about its concept. And no, it's not a big adventure bike. So it's versatile, right? Multi-touring, right? It's part of that family, but it has characteristics of a crossover motorcycle. Even CFMoto itself calls it a touring bike, meaning it's meant more for riding on asphalt than off-road. However, it has, for example, spoked wheels, not 21, but 19 in the front and 17 in the rear. Spoked wheels with tubeless tires, meaning they don't use inner tubes, which is really cool. Yeah, another feature that adds more character and helps with off-road riding is the long suspension travel. And it even comes with off-road foot pegs, which have this rubber piece, but you can remove it if you want to ride on dirt for better grip. So you can see here the ground clearance is 19.20 centimeters, which is just right to help you get over obstacles more easily. In terms of design, it has a really tough and imposing look. It doesn't even look like a 700, it actually looks like a 1000cc motorcycle because it's so impressive. Yeah. And here we have a big tank, so the fairings here are plastic, okay? Even here in the middle, it's plastic too, so the tank is completely surrounded by plastic fairings. And we have both glossy and matte finishes here. By the way, I want to congratulate CFMoto for the attention to detail on this motorcycle, even on the inner parts. The inner part here could have just been plain plastic, but no, you can see there are details like a carbon fiber look. They really put effort into it so you can see the refinement in the finish. Honestly, I liked it here. It even looks like a premium European motorcycle, so that's a really good thing. Here at the front, we have the headlight assembly with a DRL signature, which is the daytime running light. It's very beautiful, the characteristic signature of the Ibex 700. When you look at it, you know exactly which model it is. I found the front of this motorcycle to be very original. I don't think it's a copy of any other bike, at least that's my impression. It's quite striking and, in my opinion, very beautiful. The lighting here is full LED, and you have the turn signals here, which are very nice, really small, and well positioned. So if the bike tips over, the turn signal won't get damaged. That's a great feature. And we also have the rear turn signals and the LED taillight, so it's full LED. Still here at the front, we have a low fender, okay? And here, this high beak with a generous radiator as well, right? And the windshield, it is adjustable, okay? Yeah, the adjustment is not electronic, it's manual. You turn the little knob here, lower it all the way, or raise it here with your hands. And here on the sides, in a circular way, we have on both the left and right sides an acrylic deflector in the same smoke tint as the windshield to help divert the air for the rider. And it leaves the dealership just the way you're seeing it here on your screen. Here we have a fairing guard, hand guards, and we also have a skid plate, but it's made of plastic, okay? It's not aluminum. And here we have the side case supports, right, which are pretty interesting, and we also have a luggage rack. Here, the luggage rack is integrated with the passenger handle. You can remove this part here and add a top case, which is really cool. And if you're thinking about equipping and protecting your Ibex 700, my tip is to get accessories from Skunk, which are very high quality and durable. And they have several accessories for this motorcycle. But the highlight I want to mention to you are the side cases made of injection molded plastic, which are very beautiful. And you also have a top case, which can be made of aluminum, including the side cases that can also be made of aluminum. But you have an aluminum top case in silver or black, and you also have one made of injected plastic. With a lot of quality and durability, that can fit 2 helmets, including keyless, which means you can enter the code there. It's great for those of you who always forget your key. And also from the economy line, which offers a lot of quality and is more affordable. For you to get to know the entire Skunk line for your motorcycle, whether it's a scooter, adventure bike, crossover, street bike, it doesn't matter. Just click on the link in the description or point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen and you'll check out all of Skunk's products. I found the exhaust tip beautiful, compact, and high up, which is good for riding even through water, right? It's likely that it won't get wet here at the tip, right? And the detail here on the bracket, right? The side case brackets even act as protection. They serve as a guard to prevent your exhaust from breaking or getting damaged in case of a fall. The seat, guys, is a 2-piece stepped seat, and it has a really nice non-slip cover here, both for the rider and the passenger. And this lumbar support here, and back here it says CFMoto in raised lettering. It's embossed there, not embroidered, okay? So what's the interesting detail about this seat? It has a heated seat. Look at that. A motorcycle at this price, I'll tell you the price in a moment. You'll be amazed that it comes with a heated seat. To activate it, you just press here. There are 3 colors: blue, green, and also red, with red being the highest intensity. When you turn it on, nothing appears on the screen, it's just the light here. Turning it off, you'll see there's no light. Regarding the height, it's 80.4 centimeters from the seat to the ground, and the seat even curves a bit, as you can see here, and it's quite narrow in this part, precisely to help the riders, right? For those who are short, look, I'm 177 centimeters tall. Just to give you an idea, I'll show it here for Mandinha. My legs are even slightly bent. I can put both feet on the ground here without any difficulty. So I believe it's more accessible for most riders, okay? Riding position here is very comfortable. My legs are at an angle here. It's not exactly 90 degrees, but I found it comfortable. You don't get too tired from having your legs too bent like you would on a sport bike. Not here, I can grip the tank with my legs, right? It has this design exactly for that, so you can ride and have stability with your legs here. Yeah, the handlebars, they come really close to you. It's actually funny because when you sit on the bike, you think, oh my God, it feels like Titanic, right? The front is way out there, right? It's really pointy here, so you think, oh my God, am I going to be able to ride this? And yes, because the handlebars are really close to you, the bar is even angled back. It's actually a bit different, but once you start riding, the bike is really comfortable. I'll show you in the city and on the road, but the handlebars help a lot. So yes, it does give that impression of being really sharp, but for you, maneuvering here is very easy, okay? An interesting detail is the grip here. The quality of this handlebar grip is really good, very nice and soft. Even without gloves, you can feel the quality. I wanted to highlight this as a positive point, something to pay attention to. The rider's foot peg is made of aluminum, and you can remove the rubber part to use it off-road. As for the passenger's foot peg, it's dark, kind of blackened, and also comes with rubber. This is to provide more comfort here, to reduce vibrations for whoever is sitting on the back seat. As for the weight, it's heavy, I'm not gonna lie. For you, it's 240 kilograms already ready to ride, or 258 kilograms if we consider the luggage racks and accessories. And also already considering the fuel tank, which has a capacity for 20 liters of gasoline. For the suspension, we have an inverted telescopic fork, and even the finish here under the fender gives extra protection to the fork tube. So imagine if a rock hits it, it won't get damaged, or at least it helps prevent that. It's fully adjustable, which is really cool. You just need a little tool, a screwdriver, to adjust it up here. It's not electronic, okay? And it has 150 millimeters of travel. In the rear, we have a monoshock with an adjustable shock absorber for rebound and preload with 148 millimeters of travel, and you also need tools to adjust it. And to access this preload adjustment tool, you just need to come here, open the seat with the key on the side of the bike, and that's it. This is the tool you'll need to adjust the rear suspension. For the brakes, we have dual discs in the front with a diameter of 300 millimeters and 4 piston calipers. In the rear, there's a single disc with 240 millimeters and a single piston caliper. And it comes with an anti-lock braking system ABS on both wheels, so it's interesting that you can turn off the rear wheel ABS with this button here, ABS on off, but you can also turn it off directly on the dashboard. And the heart of the Ibex 700 is a liquid-cooled twin-cylinder engine with 693 cubic centimeters that produces about 68 horsepower. At 9,500 RPM and 6.1 kgfm of torque at 6,000 RPM, it's an engine with 6 gears and chain final drive. A detail about this engine is that yes, it is derived from the Versys 650 engine. Actually, it's an evolution of that engine. Basically, they took a design that's already well known, right? The engine from the Ninja and the Versys 650, which is basically bulletproof, and then they increased the stroke and the displacement, even making it more powerful. The dashboard is a 5-inch color TFT screen, really complete. A lot of people say it's the same as the one on the Ibex 450, but I noticed some differences. The first is that you can't change the layout, okay? So, the display information is exactly what you're seeing on the screen. Here we have the circular tachometer, the speedometer in the middle, and up here, gear, which means, well, the engaged gear, right? And we have several pieces of information at the bottom and also on the side. See here, look. 32 psi, 37 psi. Here we have front, which is the front wheel, and below the rear wheel, so we have the pressure there, right? You can see the tire pressure in real time, which is really good, especially for those who travel, okay? Below we have the battery voltage. Here we have the range, how far you can go with the gas in the tank, the clock, and on the side, the odometer, it's at 508 kilometers. Then you have the fuel consumption and you can change the information. Here you have how many kilometers per hour you did, right? On average, here's the range, right? And by pressing the up arrow here, you can see the trips, trip 1 and here trip 2. No one reset it, right? You can see that the odometer is the same as the trips. Below, I changed it since it already updated. You can see the instant fuel consumption on a small bar as you drive. It displays instantly. And here's the time, right? How much you've driven. Then you have how many kilometers per liter you're getting, right? And also the range, right? And here it also shows the battery voltage. Here on the outside, we have some lights and indicators, and by pressing button 7, you can access the information here on the dashboard, okay? So you can get information here like the odometer, right? This view is more condensed, let's say. It doesn't show kilometers per liter, okay? The consumption is always liters per 100 kilometers, which is kind of European, right? That's the standard. Here we have the option for you to turn off the ABS on the rear wheel. I think it's really nice because it shows this graphic part, right? I think it's really cool here. Look, you turned it off, it turned red. It's really cool, guys. Traction control, look at that. Stunning. I love it. I'm really into technology. This one here, the gear reminder, is actually a shift light that you can set up. It's at 6,500 RPM, okay? But you can change it. And here we have the phone, right? Because this dashboard connects to your cell phone. Here, music, the song will show up. We also have the Moto Play app here, which I'll show you in a moment. And here we have the information, right? Device connected. You can also pair your helmets. Yeah, more information right here in an easier way. The automatic brightness, right? You can leave it on automatic. Yeah, the unit I mentioned to you, see? In the unit, you can't see kilometers per hour, okay? Right? The pressure, PSI, you can't, change it here in the unit. You can't change any other information here like kilometers per liter, okay? And then you have information here about language, system updates, and everything else. Anyway, these are the details here on the panel, but the coolest thing, guys, is right here. Look, MotoPlay, check it out. With the CFMoto app, you press here and look. I already have the app downloaded, so you have a lot of information here in the app. What I wanted to show you here is MotoPlay. Look, I'm going to enter the address here. I'll put, I don't know, Guadarrama here. Let's see if it works, okay? It will show me the options here, and I'll start. Head north. It showed European Portuguese, right? It shows it on the screen. Here it even dimmed my phone's brightness. But it's on. See, you see when I come here and lift it up, it's on. And then when I lock the screen, look what happens. It already switches to turn-by-turn navigation. So on the iPhone, there's this problem, okay? On Android, this doesn't happen, okay? When you lock the screen and the map disappears. Some people prefer it, right? Turn-by-turn directions. The cool thing is that there's a speedometer here with all the information. But when you lock the iPhone, it will disappear, okay? The map. And I wanted to show you here. Let me go back here for you. I wanted to show the ABS status, right? It was turned off. But on the button here, ABS on off, you can already press it here. And it already, look, traction control here, it's off. And also off-road, it already turned off the ABS on the rear wheel. And it has USB and USB-C ports here on the side with a cover. Look, to protect from the rain. The right lever has reach adjustment. And here on the switch cluster, we have a button to cut the engine power. Down here is the ignition button and the hazard lights. And here on the left side, we have the switches. These four are to operate the dashboard. Here is the button to turn off traction control and ABS. Left and right turn signals. Here is the horn. On the back is the high beam flasher, okay, and also the high beam. Yeah, and here on the left handlebar, kind of hidden, we have the grip heater, this black button. But to show you, I need to start the motorcycle. It doesn't work when it's off. I turned it on. It will always appear here. Did you notice the blinking green light? Now I'm going to press here. Green is on. It's the weakest setting, okay? Blue is the middle setting, and red is the highest heat setting, okay? If you press it one more time, it turns off. And here, the clutch lever also has reach adjustment. Here is the brake fluid reservoir. It's transparent, so you can even see the quality of the fluid. The CFMoto app is very complete. You have access to the motorcycle's information. It even includes the manual and tutorials. In the vehicle section, you have various information. The cool thing is that here you can see your trips by month in the bars. I'm going to select here a trip from June that I took. So it's showing me my trip here. And the cool thing is that you can see the average time and everything else, the information. It's very detailed. And then by clicking here on my trip, you also have access to the information. You can see if you braked hard or softly. For example, my maximum speed here was 183. I braked hard 23 times, softly 3 times. So it's really cool because it's like you have telemetry, right? By clicking here on the map, you can see where your motorcycle is. I didn't get why it showed separately here. It combines everything when you open it. Yeah, but the distance is minimal, right? So I'm here at this location. It matches perfectly. And one interesting thing is that you have, look, you can set up a geofence, so you can create it here. So I'll set it like this, a 50-kilometer radius more. Bigger. Look, you can choose 10 kilometers the radius for the area. And the cool thing is that if the motorcycle leaves this radius, the app will keep notifying you. And at any moment you log in, you can also see where the motorcycle is. But you can only download the app on one device at a time, okay? So you can't download it on 2 devices and keep monitoring what the other person is doing, okay? I'm just letting you know. I've already shown you everything about the Ibex 700. It's time to drive through the streets of São Paulo and also hit the road. If you're enjoying the video so far, how about leaving a like? Please like to show your support. If you change your mind, you can remove it, but your like motivates me to create more videos. And if this video helped you decide on a purchase, let me know with a like. Whether it's for buying the Ibex 700 or another model, please subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to reach 1 million subscribers. I'm counting on your help. It's free and you help me a lot. Now let's go. Hop on with me. first, the shape of the seat is very comfortable. Let's see how it goes when we're riding on the road. But I'm surprised by how agile it is to handle. When you see such a big bike, you think, oh my God, I'm going to end up hitting every mirror out there. And actually, that's not the case, you know? It's really agile, the handling is spot on, but the size doesn't work miracles, right? Still, everything here is pretty well balanced. And it's doing well here between the cars. I'm going over all the bumps in the road very smoothly. Man, the torque on this bike is so much fun. I don't even feel like shifting gears. It's so nice that I can feel the engine pulling. I expected it to be much worse and thought I would struggle or freeze up. And I can tell you, riding it here while moving, you don't really feel its weight. You don't feel it. The bike is really light, seriously. And you end up in such a comfortable position here. On top, like this, I think the handlebar, wow, you feel so comfortable here, at least for me, that riding it doesn't tire me out. First of all, no. Guys, can I say something? It surprised me. But of course, it has large dimensions, so it's not the queen of agility when it comes to size, but the handling is very well tuned. The engine, even though it's a torquey, nice engine, you can feel that it pulls, right? Yeah, it's very stable, and what do I mean by that? In first gear, the bike won't jump around, and you won't need to slip the clutch as much. It's a more forgiving engine, so you'll be able to ride in situations like these here. At low speed, look, without even putting a foot down. Just controlling here, the engine helps you a lot because there are bikes that keep fighting with you. It's really annoying to ride. Beep. But not this bike, guys. Let me pass. Did we already pass? Whoa, that's it. Yeehaw. But now let's get out of this annoying traffic and let's go. Whoa, guys, let's hit the road with her. The only bad thing about this bike on the road is the windshield, which I wasn't really sold on, guys. The windshield didn't really win me over. Even raising it all the way up here, I feel like the wind still comes from the side. I think it's because it's really far from here, right? The dashboard, you know, it's way up front. It does protect from the wind in the front, but from the side here, it ends up causing turbulence on my helmet. So it ends up not being that comfortable, you know, for hitting the road, for riding several kilometers, right? What do I think of this bike? Man, it's very stable, very comfortable. I have to admit to you that the size of this giant cockpit is a bit strange. On the other hand, the handlebars are really close to me, so honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. But I can't see the front. I don't think so, because since I'm higher up, I can anticipate things, right? The riding position, it's a bike that's accessible for short people, right? And then, yeah, tall people might end up with their legs bent for too long. For me, that's not a problem. It's actually comfortable here for me. Riding around on it here feels good. And then, guys, I'm absolutely surprised by this bike's cornering ability. The chassis is really well tuned. Here is Ibex Edge Sync. It was a really fun motorcycle. Really fun indeed. On winding roads like this, wow, it handles really well. You can speed up and have a lot of fun. It has a high top speed. Official from CFMoto is 180. We won't be able to try the top speed here, right? It's busy, look. But above 7.5, 176, 179, and 182. It already goes into the red. That's on the dashboard, right? And then you really start to feel vibration in the foot pegs, right? But then when you get into the red, look. When you get up to 9,000 RPM, look. Yeah, you can't really speed, guys, but overall, the bike, no, you don't feel any vibration or anything. Here on the handlebars, on the foot pegs, just a little bit, right? Actually, I think the Ibex 450 ends up vibrating even less than this one here. Yeah, the engine of the Ibex 700 is a little bit more, how can I say, torquey, rougher. It doesn't mean it's aggressive, but it's stronger. Because of that, it vibrates a little more. And this beautiful helmet here from Pius really matched the black Ibex 700, didn't it? I'll leave the link for you to buy with a discount in the description. Or you can just point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen. So you can pay less by using my coupon Amanda on the Pius website. All right, but I'll also tag the helmet here in the YouTube video for you to buy, okay? There are other colors, all right? Today was a hot day and I was riding on the road. Just now arriving on the highway, look, it's showing 90 degrees here. And it's already heating up, and my legs, I thought the motorcycle wouldn't get hot. Even though the fan kept turning on all the time, right? But no, so it does get hot, yes. The downside is that it warms up your legs a little. Look, 93 degrees it goes up. Yeah, there's no way around it. Now it just stops and goes. The motorcycle will heat up no matter what. We can't do anything. And that's it. That's a downside. And speaking of downsides, let's wrap up the video with the pros and cons. First, I need to get through, right? Am I going or not? I'm going. Leave a like. Is the Ibex 700 a gas guzzler? We know it really depends on the rider. The more you accelerate, the more it's going to use. There's no way around it. If you take too long to shift gears, for example, and keep forcing the engine, right? Well, yeah, I'd read in overseas reviews that it didn't use much fuel, and I can confirm that. I got about 17 kilometers per liter, and some people may get better mileage while others may get worse. So, I want to know your opinion, your comment. Are you the owner of an Ibex 700? Write down below what kind of fuel consumption you get with it. Let's use an average consumption of 18 kilometers per liter since it was about 17. If we consider the tank to be 20 liters, that gives it a range of about 360 kilometers. At least it has a big tank, right? And insurance, huh? Look, there's no way around it. Insurance is the best accessory you can get for your motorcycle. So, get insurance no matter the model. Especially for a bike this size, insurance is worth it, right? And the good thing is that you can choose from several insurance companies which are listed with SUSEP in an easy and quick way and still pay little for the insurance. Where? At Protection, a partner of the channel for years, they've already helped hundreds of followers, and now it could be your turn. You get a quote right away on your phone or computer using the link in the description or by pointing your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen. And look, I've already done the quote here. I used the profile of a 45-year-old man and used the zip code for Mogidas Cruises, which is where I live right now. Married man, okay? So you have to get married to pay less for insurance. Did you know married men or those in civil unions pay less for insurance? Information, fun facts. Of course, for you, depending on your profile, whether you're a woman, older or younger, it might be cheaper, especially depending on the zip code, okay? And the price here, look, went from 2,265 to 1,793 Rs and 54 centavos with my discount. There are several insurance options, guys. Then you'll see which one fits your profile best for what you're looking for. Just click the link in the description. With Protect Me, it's very easy, no bureaucracy. Try it with no commitment or cost and choose from several SUSEP-registered insurance companies. Just click the link in the description or the QR code on the screen and you'll already get a discount. With Protect Me, it's very easy. Click, quote, done. And now I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of the Ibex 700 because Mandinha isn't the ultimate authority, okay? You have every right to agree, disagree, or even add your own thoughts as long as you use the comments respectfully. The first positive point here is the engine, guys. I like this engine. It's sportier, a bit more feisty. I really liked it. That's a positive point. Another good thing is the handling. This bike takes curves on its own, so that's really nice for the road. Another positive point. Another good thing is this big 20-liter tank, which really helps, right? You can travel far without frequent refueling if you ride calmly. Otherwise, you'll use more fuel. Another good thing is that I found it comfortable, both the seat, which I thought was really soft, and the riding position, which is also good. And another really good thing is the accessories that come standard with the bike. So here you have hand guards, engine guards, right? Here you have the side case rack and also the top box, which really helps, a positive point. And now, another good thing is the original exhaust sound. I really liked it with this muffler. The fully adjustable suspension is great. It's not electronic, but you can adjust it completely, which is a plus. Dashboard, guys, the dashboard is fully loaded. That's a positive point. Another cool feature is the connectivity with the app, right? So you actually have a functional app where you can even see the location. It's kind of like a tracker too that you can check. That's really good. It's free. That's really cool. Cool. And the map on the screen, right? Okay, the iPhone disconnects, right? But Android users, right, finally got a win, right? So Android owners who bought an Ibex are going to be happy. They can see the map on the screen. That's a plus. Seat heater here, that's a plus. We don't see this even on more expensive and bigger motorcycles. And here on the Ibex 700, we have it. Just like the heated grips, it's a really good thing. 2 outlets. Look, no matter what cable you have, you'll be able to recharge here. Another plus is the button over there that instantly turns off ABS and traction control. You don't have to spend half an hour looking for it. That's really good. Accessible for short guys and girls. This is an accessible bike. And another good thing here, it's good for taking a passenger. A plus is it has tubeless spoked wheels, which frequent travelers appreciate. Another thing people like is what? Fixed price maintenance. So even before you buy, you can already see the cost of the maintenance, and believe it or not, the price, guys, is really low, even lower than smaller bikes from CFMoto itself. So, as you can see on the screen, the price is really very competitive. Another good thing is that it's versatile. So, even though its main purpose is more for riding on the road, it also comes ready for off-road if you need it, okay? Another good thing is the original accessories. There are several accessories for you to equip your e-bags, as you can see on the screen. There are many accessories that you can buy at the dealership. And the last item, but not least, I think it's actually the main one, is the price, guys. The introductory launch price. We're already on the second batch as of this date, and other batches will come, I think, until things stabilize. Let's see how long it lasts. Let's see how long CFMoto will actually keep this competitive price. Now I'm going to talk about the negative points. Remember, this is my opinion. You can agree, disagree, or even add to it in the comments as long as it's respectful. But first, you need to subscribe to the Motoplay channel. Are you subscribed? Not yet? Why not? It's free. Click the button below and become part of the biggest, coolest community with the cheapest insurance and the most fuel-efficient motorcycles in Brazil. For sure, it's the Motoplayers. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Negative points. The first one is that the engine gets hot. So I admit that when I first got on, like I told you on camera, right, in the onboard footage, no, it was cold. I didn't feel it. Then when I sped up, it was a hotter day. So yes, the engine does get hot. So if you live in warmer regions of the country, keep that in mind before buying. Another thing is that it's a bit heavy. So when you're maneuvering, you have to be careful, right? When stopping and starting, because it can, it has good handling, okay? But the big 20-liter tank here. So it shifts the center of gravity just a little higher. Yeah, so when you're maneuvering it while stopped, it's a bit heavy, okay? Another thing I didn't like, right? I said it was a positive point, the button that heats up the seat here, but the problem is that the button, guys, when you're riding, the button is kind of hidden. You have to do this, look. That's it, it already happened on the bus, so now you're riding. Look, it's here, see? Then you have to press here, you have to do this, and guys, you can't do that. Why can't you do that? You have to keep accelerating and hold it, then wait for the color. This happened to me, and I was on the lowest setting because I'd left early that morning. And then, with family pants on, guys, let me tell you. So it was on the green one, which is the weakest, right? Then suddenly I said, it got warm, the sun came out, I want to turn it off. Then I couldn't do it. I went to the red one, and I even had to stand up because I couldn't handle it. It was burning. It was burning my butt, guys. So what I thought was bad is actually a good thing, but at some moments you might have to stop or take your attention off riding so you can turn it off. It would be perfect if the dashboard displayed the information. Even if the button stayed here by the selector, it would be much better if the information showed up on the the display, so that's a downside. Why am I not giving a negative point for the heated grips? Because you can just glance and see the little light. But with the seat heater, honestly, I felt it was lacking in that aspect, so negative point. An item that's missing, which I think could come as standard, is the center stand. It really helps a lot with chain maintenance, especially for people who like to travel a lot. You know, if you had a center stand, you could just adjust the chain easily, but it doesn't come as standard. So, negative point. Another thing that's missing is the cruise control. I didn't count that as a negative point on the Ibex 450 because that's not really its purpose. But here, this is a motorcycle meant for traveling, for touring. Cruise control is definitely missing. And the windshield, okay? Ibex actually tried, right? Actually, it was CFMoto. CFMoto tried, but it didn't really work out. Up here at the top, it actually protects well. However, since there's a gap here, it seems like the wind comes in from the sides and creates turbulence. So I felt like it didn't really do its job of protecting me. But of course, that's in relation to my height, my build. If you can, you should do a test ride. Another downside is the fuel consumption. I thought the fuel consumption was high for this motorcycle, right, for this category. It has about the same fuel consumption as a 1000cc bike, more or less. So that's a negative point. The rear suspension could have had a little adjustment knob. CFMoto really put a lot of effort into it. They added several premium bike details here. That little adjustment is missing there, right? But it's very common, you know, to travel with these bikes. So if you add luggage or take someone on the back, you have to adjust the preload, then you need to get the tool and all that. It's a lot of work. People end up not even doing it. You give up on adjusting, on getting the motorcycle ready, and then it can even mess up your riding a bit. You even feel the bike is weird because you didn't adjust the preload. If it had the little knob, things would be much easier. This issue only affects iPhone users. If it's locked, that's it for iPhone, right? Android doesn't have this problem. And I'm going to mention this downside, but it's something you can change. It's the tires. I thought the tires were okay in dry conditions. In light rain, they didn't inspire much confidence, but once they wear out, you can switch to your preferred tire brand. Do you have more pros or cons? Share them below. I want your thoughts. And it's available in two colors with a suggested retail price of 44,990 Rs. That's the final price, including shipping to the dealership. And now the million-dollar question. Is the Ibex worth it? I'm going to answer without sitting on the fence. Just because you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, you deserve my honest opinion without me sitting on the fence. Yes, it's worth it at 45,000 Rs. What else can you get for that price? This motorcycle directly competes with the Versys 650. Visit the website to check the Versys 650 price, then return to comment. It competes with the NC 750X, which is also better for shorter riders. There's a video linked in the description and card. Watch it later. This makes it a more accessible motorcycle in Brazil for shorter people. It doesn't have a helmet compartment here in the tank, but it also has this more crossover style. But here you have more technology, the dashboard. So, yeah. When you look at the competition, I think, yes, this motorcycle is worth it. Then you might say, what about after sales? I don't know, parts. Of course, that's an issue for every new brand. I don't vouch for anyone. Again, this is my honest opinion. This isn't a paid review. That's what I think. Yeah, abroad, this model here is already very established, right? Here in Brazil, it's new. But abroad, it's established. You have to see how the engine handles our gasoline, right? Because it's different from abroad. But technically, it's consistent. So the tests have been done. But here's what I think. The chassis, the durability of the parts, everything. Chronic problems have already been solved over time in other countries. All right? So, in my humble opinion, it's worth it in terms of parts. You have to keep an eye on CFMoto Brazil. They're already doing a good job. Before launching the motorcycle, they already had a stockpile there in the warehouse. I don't know how many thousands of parts. I think it's exactly to avoid this kind of problem and not ruin the brand right from the start. And in my opinion, it's a success. Also because I think the price will go up. So if you buy now, right, whoever buys first, right, the early adopter, right, takes on that risk, right? But also when it appreciates, you might even be able to resell it for more than you paid. But I do think it's worth it, especially for the price and the package it offers. And you? Do you think it's worth it or not? Right here in the comments. So that's it. If you like the video, leave a like, share it with your friends, WhatsApp groups, Facebook, tag the newcomer, Mandinha bringing that standard Motoplay review with the pros and cons, everything in detail. So you can just go to the dealership and close the deal. If you want to become a channel member, you get exclusive perks, giveaways, early content, and most importantly, you help Mandinya make more free content here on the internet for you. But if you can't, if money is tight, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. If you watch this full review, why not subscribe? Just click the button. It really helps me out. Up here, I put the Ibex 450 video, and down here, I put another really cool video for you to watch. See you next time. Moto Kiss.